All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Sportsminute on the ASAP Network. Tonight, I am joined by none other than the Vic. How's it going tonight?
It's going fantastic. Of course.
All right. And of course, we have none other than the J-Mac. How's it going tonight?
We can't complain. We probably could, but no one really gives a damn, so we're not going to.
All right, and then last but not least, welcome our new addition on Sports Minute, Mr. Will Polston. How's it going tonight, brother?
Man, if I was doing any better, it'd be illegal. So let's not talk about it.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into some ads. So the first ad that we're going to actually talk about, we're going to talk about Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry. So the Vic, go ahead and take it away.
All right, let me tell you, Christmas is getting closer, guys. And girlfriends, moms, sisters, daughters, cousins love jewelry. Suzanne's Bling, paparazziaccessories.com/160920. Everything's $5. It's lead and nickel free. It's available 24/7 online. Shipping's in like 5 days. So if you want it for Christmas, you better get on it right now. It comes FedEx, dropped right at your front door. I've ordered countless stuff, ordered all my cousins' Christmas presents from there. And they love them. So let's hook it up. Let's go. Get to the website. Start ordering some stuff.
All right. And yes, as you said, you had some really good stuff. You said you really, really enjoy it. So
absolutely, yeah, love it.
All right. So J-Mac, how about you tell us about some black market toffee, huh?
Oh man, yeah, I'd love to. So black market toffee ran by a lady named Jamie Kanagi, and they are on Facebook/Black Market Toffee. This stuff is handcrafted in small batches using the finest ingredients available without the use of fillers or corn syrup. No corn syrup. How about that? A perfect, delicate crunch. They'll stick to your teeth. And by the way, you'll have to hide this. Not from anyone else, but yourself. Or you'll sit there and eat the whole thing. I'm telling you. And just to get you a few prices here, just a little bit, a half-pound box is $15. A half pound of toffee for $15. Think about that. And you can get a 2-pound box. 2-pound box for $52. Nice. But that's 2 pounds of toffee. That's a lot of toffee. That's a sweet deal. That's a screaming deal. So check them out on Facebook.
I love it. I will give a shout out to Gail Smith, who's saying hi on the show. And then, of course, we have none other than Brandon Herrera that's saying, what's up tonight, guys? How's it going, Brandon? And so, of course, as everybody sees right now who's watching this live stream, you can see that awesome shirt that Will is wearing right now. He is repping that All Sports, All Plays Network shirt. And I'll tell you what, this is something that people are going to want. So guess what? Will, tell them, how can they get one of those awesome shirts?
Man, if you want one of these awesome shirts, be looking like me. I know it's something to shoot for. You definitely want to look like this. So why don't you get down there in the comments section, leave some comments. Make sure to like the page, follow the page, share it to your loved ones, your enemies, everybody involved. At the end of the month, we're going to find a winner. The person who does that the most will be our viewer of the month, and they will get their very own free ASAP Network t-shirt.
All right. All right, so now, Will, what happens if somebody's working and they can't hop on, or they're watching the show and they're like, you know what, I'm just scared to comment because I don't want it to sound bad. So how can they get a shirt other than that?
Hey man, like your third grade teacher used to say, no question's a bad question, no comment's a bad comment. Be down there in the comment section. We love hearing them. But if you're a little bit gun shy when it comes down to it, don't even look at this sign. This sign doesn't even tell you the whole story. It's not $25. We've brought it down to $14.99 plus shipping and handling. You want to talk about a deal, fellas? Everybody, I'm a 4XL. Okay, this fits me, and I'm big. All right, we got big man sizes, we got little man sizes. Anything you need, go ahead and contact one of us. We can get you one of those free, or we can get you an ASAP t-shirt ASAP.
Oh man, those are fight words, man.
Off to a bad start. We are off to a bad start.
And I do want to give a shout out to actually one of our sponsors tonight, that Suzanne is actually watching tonight. So
Hi, Suzanne.
Thank you for the paparazzi. Thank you very much. Okay,
Love
so
your stuff.
now we do have some awesome topics to bring you tonight. I'll tell you what, they are going to be very, very hot topics. As everybody knows, every week we pick a different team and we cover their top 5 quarterbacks every single week. This week we have chosen the top 5 quarterbacks in the Philadelphia Eagles franchise history. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this one to the Vic, and I'm going to say, the Vic, go ahead and give me the top 5.
I get to start. All right. Well, I'm going to start off by saying nowhere on my list is Carson Wentz. He's not even in there. So, all right. Number 5, going old time, Tommy Thompson. He was back in the old days. He's a good guy. It was either him or Carson, and I went with Tommy Thompson, to be honest. Number 4, Ron Jaworski, Jaws. Growing up, always used to watch the Eagles. Somehow they were always on the TV. I don't know how. My grandpa hated them. My stepdad hated them. I don't know how they're on the TV. But we always used to watch the Jaws. Ron Jaws Jaworski, rocking it. Number 3, Nick Foles. Sorry, but the dude won a Super Bowl. He won Philadelphia's only Super Bowl. Okay? He's got to be on the list. He won their only Super Bowl. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
We'll see. That's it. It's an opinion.
I'm not wrong. I didn't put him at number 1. I put him at 3.
Right. No hate.
I put him at 3 because he won their Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl.
I'm here for it.
I mean, come on. Number 2, Randall Cunningham. The dude is just – he was the running quarterback before there was ever a running quarterback. And he had a cannon, and him and Randy Moss together. Wait, sorry, that was Minnesota. My bad. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Randall Cunningham, number 2. Number 1, Donovan McNabb. I mean, the dude took him to a Super Bowl. They were a yard away from the touchdown to win the Super Bowl. I mean, when you think of Philadelphia football, I don't know how you don't think Donovan McNabb is the number 1 quarterback in their history based on just record and skill alone. So,
all right,
that's my 5.
So before we go on to the next person, I'm going to give a shout out to Madison since she left a comment. I'm going to say, hey, Madison, how's it going tonight? And then we even have Chase Anderson on tonight that's saying, hey, guys. So I want to give a shout out to Chase and say, how's it going tonight, buddy? Hope you're going to enjoy the show. We got some really good topics. Now, this time we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump to Will Polston, who's going to go ahead and give his top 5.
Alrighty. Chris Brown, I hope I do you proud. I really hope I do you proud. I hope I don't let you down. Former Real Talk guy, you're my big buddy. All right, I don't want to hurt you here. I'm going to start off with number 5, Sonny Jurgensen. More known on his time with the Washington football team, not back then, but definitely more known for his time back then, but also a really good quarterback whenever he was with Philadelphia. He ended up winning what was it? He was a Pro Bowler. He was an All-Pro. I want to say he ended up winning them a NFL championship, not a Super Bowl, but an NFL championship. You got to appreciate championships, like Vic said, and a positive touchdown to interception ratio, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but back in the 50s, not very common. Number 4, I got to go Tommy Thompson, similar to Vic. 6th all-time in passing yards and passing touchdowns on the organization, a 2-time NFL champion, 1-time Pro Bowler. I mean, it speaks for itself. His resume was very good in Philadelphia. Number 3, I'm going Jaws, Ron Jaworski. Second all time in Eagles history in both passing yards, passing touchdowns. Second most winningest quarterback in Eagles history. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, his career, again, you go look at the numbers, it speaks for itself. Number 2, Randall Cunningham. I'm right there with Vic. Looking at it, 63 wins, third most all time in Philadelphia quarterback history. He was third all time in passing yards and passing touchdowns, but he's also 6th all time in both rushing yards and rushing touchdowns in the organization. That's phenomenal. I mean, whenever she talked about it, he really was the rushing quarterback, the premier rushing quarterback whenever it first came out. Could also sling the thing. And also, not to mention, he put up these numbers in 11 years with Philadelphia. And in 5 of those 11 years, he was being the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. To still put up psycho numbers like that, you got to give it to him. And then, number 1, Jalen Hurts. I mean, it's obvious. No, honestly, number 1, Donovan McNabb. We all know we typically know who 1 and 2 are. Donovan McNabb, most winningest quarterback, most passing yards, most passing touchdowns, 6-time Pro Bowler. I mean, the guy's phenomenal, built up a hell of a resume in Philadelphia. So, Donovan McNabb is my number 1.
All right, J-Mac.
Well, I will tell Vic this. Nick Foles is not going to be on my list. Spoiler alert there.
Nor mine.
Just saying. That's cool. I don't care. I
mean,
just spoiled it. Doesn't matter.
That's all right.
So number 5, I have Carson Wentz because he does have an MVP season for the Eagles, an MVP type season, excuse me. Other side of this year, he actually has played very well. And again, are we going to really cut him down for one bad season? I mean, if you look at his career, he had the same comparable numbers this year as Ben Roethlisberger did in his 5th season, and we all say Roethlisberger is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, is Wentz going to come back up from here? I mean, we'll wait and see. But I'm with you guys on number 4, Thompson, definitely. Like for all the reasons you said there. Cunningham is 3 for me. It was toss up between 2 and 3. I'll say that. I have Jaws at 2, and it's really because of how durable he was. He had the record for consecutive starts as a quarterback until Brett Favre broke it. So, that says how durable he was. And obviously, number 1's Donovan McNabb. And as a Green Bay fan, I got to say, anytime I see 4th and 26 on any game, I am like, PTSD moment for me. Oh, my goodness. 4th and 26. I'll never forget that, ever.
Yeah, that's why I will never forget Donovan McNabb, because that stupid play right there. And was actually,
but okay. Is it stupid when it works?
No, let's back it up a little bit, though. It wasn't 4th and 26. It was actually 4th and 24. Let's back it up a little bit here. Let's give 2 yards of respect on that one. Okay?
Whoa. You said it was what? 4th and what?
4th and 24.
24.
That's actually funny because I have bad memories with that from my college. Gave up a 4th and 24 to Houston on Thanksgiving, and we lost the game.
Right. So now everybody else went ahead and gave their top 5. Now, some of my top 5 was actually pretty much the same as a lot, especially my 1 and 2. But my number 5 was actually Rob Jaworski, of course, because how could you not have him in your top list? Woo! He was the quarterback when they went to the Super Bowl. However, they did not win it. They actually lost to Oakland. But you know what? That's okay. He was still good. All right. So the number 4, I'm surprised that nobody put Norm Van Brocklin on their list.
He's too old for me.
Yeah, I just think he's more.
Come on, Grandpa.
I just think he's more known for playing with the Rams, though. That's the only reason I think.
But do you realize though, when he was with the Eagles, he's the only one. He gave Vince Lombardi his playoff loss. Norm Van Brocklin was the quarterback of the Eagles when he gave Vince Lombardi his playoff loss. Like and don't forget, he led the league in passing 3 times. 3 consecutive years. It was 36, 37, and 38. So, like, you know what? you go back a long time, but you can't just go into nowadays, because I know a lot of people look at nowadays. They talk about, the modern day quarterbacks now, and they talk about the numbers that they put up now, but you can't always do that. You can't base it off the numbers now, because it was a different league way back then. Now, of course, number 3, Vic, you had this guy on your list, but you had him at number 5, I do believe. I actually went with Tommy Thompson at number 3. So I did go back that far because he actually led the Eagles to 3 straight championships in the late 40s. He led them to 46, 47, and 48. Now, of course, the Super Bowls weren't them, but championships still count for something. So leading them to 3 consecutive championships, I thought was actually pretty impressive. So you have to have him in your top 5. And then, of course, number 2, everybody had basically Randall Cunningham at number 2, but I actually went with Donovan McNabb at number 2. That might actually be a little bit of a shocker, but I only had to put him at number 2 because I'm a little hurt at Donovan McNabb over that 4th and 24. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I put him at number 2. Donovan McNabb was a fantastic quarterback. As everybody knows, he basically leads the Eagles in every statistical passing category that there possibly is. So obviously he's going to be in your top 5. And then number 1, Randall Cunningham. And that's only because when I think of a running quarterback, that dual threat quarterback, especially on Philadelphia, the first one I go to is Randall Cunningham, because he's the one who brought that. So to me, Randall Cunningham is one of those quarterbacks that were completely underrated also, because you don't really hear a lot about him now. You really don't. But I believe he should be talked about a lot more than what he is. He was, I wouldn't say by far, but he is the Eagles' best quarterback. All right. I think everybody had some pretty good lists there. I enjoyed everybody's list. Basically, everybody had McNabb and Cunningham at 1 or 2. I don't think that was really a shocker in any way. Everybody was going to go with that. Now we go into the fun category of the night that everybody wanted to talk about. Now, I know Will's like, man, I can't narrow this down to 5. I can't.
Let me tell you, okay, I am prescribed medication for anxiety, okay? You want to talk about trying to dig through the medicine cabinet. This is why I love watching Sportsminute, because it's topics like this that you just don't. I remember you guys did like top 5 sports moments all time, and I was like, how in the world am I going to narrow it down to 5? And this is another one of those topics. I literally have a list of 20 in front of me, and I narrowed it down to my 5, but I've got backup plans if you guys take my picks.
All right, so let me answer Andrew's question really quick, because he's talking about the Chargers and Raiders game tomorrow. And he's saying at some point, do you feel like you could see 2 previous Ducks quarterbacks going at it? So basically what he's saying is Carr going to get benched, or is he going to get hurt at some point? I don't think it's going to happen. As long as Carr's healthy, he's going to be the starter on that team. So I don't think you're going to see Mariota at any point. Now, if you ask the Vic, obviously she's going to say, yeah, Mariota's going to enter that game. And if Mariota enters that game, now here's a question for you, Vic. This is the entertainment.
It's a tie.
If Mariota enters the game and you have Herbert and Mariota,
it's a tie. Okay, so this is my philosophy. The only reason Mariota would enter the game is if they're up really big or down really big. Mm-hmm. If Carr starts, I want them down really big, so Mariota can come in and look good and bring them close to winning, but Justin still beats them out. Chargers still beat them out.
All right. So with this next,
that's my hope. That is my hope, Andrew, that there is a battle of Duck quarterbacks tomorrow night, because that would be so awesome. J-Mac, I'm coming for you, bro. I'm coming at you.
Oh, Jesus. Like, can we get one show without talking about the Ducks? Like, I get Herbert's good, but Mariota obviously is not starting material in the NFL, or he would have battled it out with David Carr when he went to the Raiders. So
he was injured. He's
a backup for a reason. He's a backup for a reason.
All right, so we don't get too far off topic, because we obviously don't want to talk about the Ducks all night.
And he played in the Pac-12, which isn't even really college football anyway.
Let's go to our next topic of the night, which I believe is going to be actually a very, very fun category we've all been waiting for. And this is actually the top 5 best catches of all time. Now, when we're talking about the top 5 best catches, we're not talking about football or baseball. We're talking about just all around the board in general. So you can look at every single sport out there. You can talk about softball, baseball, football, and we even classify saves in hockey as catches. So anything you want to think about, you can go with your top 5. So with this one, we'll go ahead and we'll start with J-Mac on this one. So go ahead and give me your top 5 best catches of all time.
I am with Will. There is 100 catches you could have put in this category, so I won't argue with anyone's picks on this. I promise you, at all.
Can you write that down? Write that down.
I've got a whole list. I'm checking them off as he goes.
He's not going to argue with anyone's picks. Write that down. Is this recording? It's on the air, J-Mac. It's on the air.
He's got
it. Okay, go.
I mean, except Vic's. So
written down.
No, so at number 5, I have the Arizona State, and I cannot remember her name, and I apologize, but she dove in from third base on a bunt. I believe it was 2 years ago in a College World Series softball game. The girl for Florida bunted straight up in the air. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you see the third baseman come in and catch the ball like 3 feet from home plate, and then she gets on her knees and throws the runner back out at first. So it was just a great all-around heads-up play. And number 4, I have David Tyree, and not because the catch was that awesome, but because of what it meant. It meant that the Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl, and that for me will ever be a top 5 catch. Now, number 3, a lot of people probably wouldn't consider this a great catch, but I have Christian Laettner when he caught and shot for Duke back in the early 90s and made that three-pointer to win the game. I mean, if he doesn't catch it, obviously the game's over. So
that broke my heart.
Yeah. Number 2, I have Willie Mays when he made the over-the-shoulder catch out in center field. How can you to me, how can you not put it in the top 5? Like, that is still considered one of the greatest catches of all time. It's unreal. Number 1 for me, it's a catch I'll never forget because I remember I was 15 years old, watching a Monday night game, Green Bay against Minnesota, and I remember we needed to win the game. We needed to beat Minnesota to keep our playoff hopes alive. Favre throws the ball down the field. Freeman falls to the ground, and even Al Michaels was like, "Oh, it's an incomplete pass." And then Freeman gets up and runs into the end zone, and I just remember Al Michaels' call was something like, "He did what? They're saying he did what? No." And so he ended up scoring the game-winning touchdown on that play. And if you watch it, I mean, it's tipped up like 5 times, goes off his shoe, off his arm. He pops up, catches the ball, and runs in for a touchdown. It's one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
All right, I like it. So when it comes to the top 5 best catches of all time, basically what I did was I chose my top 5 favorites. That's pretty much what I did because there's so many of them. I'm like, I'll just choose what my favorites are. So with this one, I actually went with number 5, and I actually went to Andrew Jones on this, and I actually put in his Spider-Man catch on the wall because I'll tell you what, that Spider-Man catch was one of the best baseball catches I've ever seen in my life. When he was able to jump up on the wall, plant both feet on the wall, and basically bring in the ball. So top 5 catches, any pitchers? Okay, Willie Mays, pockets grab.
Number 3, take it away.
Catch. Kevin Mitchell. Okay. So that's his. All right, so that was my number 5 on that one was the Andrew Jones Spider-Man catch. Now my number 4, and I went with this one only because of also what it meant too, and it was actually the Santonio Holmes catch in the Super Bowl against Arizona Cardinals, because I don't know how you cannot classify, because somehow that ball got through 3 defenders and he still went up and got that ball, was able to get both feet down. Now, for the longest time, everybody was saying, did he actually get both feet down? But I'll tell you what, he got both feet down. He got them both down. It was just an insane catch. I don't know how he caught it, but it was a crazy catch. Then number 3, I actually went to the cricket side of things on this one, and I actually went with Ben Stokes from England. Now, the reason I went to What are you laughing about?
Just victory
Oh,
action.
that's just Matt Singer. It's just funny stuff. It's all right. Don't worry.
Funny
Oh
stuff.
yeah. You're laughing about my cricket choice and the reason I chose cricket, and this is why people don't look at cricket like it's a great sport, but it is because they don't use gloves, so they catch everything with their bare hands. And when you talk about this Ben Stokes catch, man, it was a full Superman layout, basically against a wall, straight out. And he catches it with his bare hand. Probably the best catch. Not only was it straight out, but he like jumped in the air and then laid out Superman style and caught it. So I don't know how you could not classify that as a top 5 catch, because that catch was ridiculous. And
absolutely, and I believe that with that catch, by the way, that advanced them next in the in the game they were playing, and because it saved a wicket. So
yeah, so if anybody gets a chance to watch it, type in Ben Stokes England catch, and you'll see the kind of crazy catch that was. I loved it. It was phenomenal.
That sounds like some Quidditch Harry Potter type of stuff.
Yes. Okay. So
Cost him a wicket.
So number 2, and J-Mac,
well,
you might
on Sportsminute, we actually talk about all sports in the world. We don't just talk about the NBA.
So my number 2 catch of all time, and J-Mac, you probably will remember this one, but it was the Brian Giles catch when he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, when he was playing in left field, and he like reached like 5 rows and like grabbed the top of the wall, reached like 5 rows in and brought the ball back, and everyone's like, there's no way he caught that. And he came out and he's like, I got it. And everyone's like, he really just caught that ball. That was one of the craziest catches I have ever seen. And obviously, I had to go with J-Mac on the number 1 with the Antonio Freeman catch, because the response for it was just crazy. He did what? And it just the way the ball bounced, that you would never even see it coming. And you wouldn't even think he had any shot at catching it whatsoever. But he did. It was crazy. Awesome catch. All right.
Awesome.
So now with this one, we'll go ahead and go to Will Polston on this one. So go ahead and give me 5.
Hit it.
Oh man. Okay. So I have my top 5 listed. Like I said, I've got a ton of alternate ones that are listed here that I want to touch over after Vic. But tell you what, let's knock out my top 5. So number 5, February 1st, 2015. Let me set the scene. Super Bowl 49. All of a sudden, you have the best running back in the NFL when it comes to goal line situations, and you decide to pass the ball. And who else is there but Malcolm Butler, a rookie Division II from Western Alabama cornerback, comes up, makes a catch throughout a collision with David Moore. It's an amazing catch. It's defying. I mean, it's one of the best catches, especially in a Super Bowl whenever it comes down to it. I just like the story. Malcolm Butler, nobody knew who the hell this guy was when he made the catch. I mean, people were sitting there trying to Google his name, trying to figure out who he even was. He was listed as the 5th cornerback on the roster to make the catch is phenomenal, and especially in the Super Bowl. Number 4, going to Arlington, Gary Matthews Jr. making the catch out in the center field. He's playing shallow center. All of a sudden, ball's hit to the wall, back completely to the ball, and then all of a sudden he hits a 180 on the wall and suddenly catches it basket style with his back facing the plate. I mean, it's phenomenal. If you don't know that catch, you got to go look that one up. Absolutely crazy. Number 3, I don't know how it's not mentioned yet. Odell Beckham Jr. The guy completely contorted his body while being held completely, and then all of a sudden he just manages to throw his arm back. It's the most awkward looking body position of all time, and somehow he manages to make the grab one hand. People were like, oh, if he wasn't wearing gloves he wouldn't do it. I don't care, he was wearing gloves and he did it. Okay, it's one of the best catches of all time. I mean, it's absolutely crazy to see him contort and then still make that catch. Number 2 with ace, I'm going Santonio Holmes. Between 3 defenders, it was probably the most perfect toe tap and the most perfect ball that could have been thrown. Between 3 defenders, toe tap in the back corner, wins the Super Bowl. Phenomenal. And then number 1, I'm the baseball guy. Got to go Willie Mays. The catch literally saved them in Game 1 of the World Series. It was a 2-2 tie back in 1954. catches the ball in the deepest parts of Polo Grounds, which is the deepest park in MLB history, and then catches it, gets it right back into the infield. No run score. Game remains tied, and then the Giants come back and end up taking the lead the next inning for the walk-off. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. It's probably the most iconic catch in baseball history. Willie Mays, number 1.
All right, the Vic, go ahead and give your top 5.
All right, I'm going to switch up one of them because one of them was Odell Beckham, but I had a backup just in case. So my top 5 are ones that have impacted me, that awed me, that made me go crazy. We're going to start at number 5. I know J-Mac's going to love this one. We have in 2013 Civil War, Marcus Mariota to Josh Huff over the middle against the Beavers to win the Civil War. I was at the game, and let me tell you, it was a 9-play drive. There was a minute 38 on the clock. And the person right next to me after the touchdown was trying to talk to me, and I couldn't hear her. She was like literally right here. Couldn't hear her. That catch just was phenomenal. So you said you weren't going to make fun or mock anybody for their picks. And that was this one impacted me. This was a great catch over the middle by Josh Huff. Number 4. I don't know how you guys didn't do it. This is like the most recent one. Tyreek Hill, Sunday Night Football against Denver. The catch that wasn't ruled a catch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. The dude's on his back in the end zone and catches the ball, doesn't realize he catches the ball, and gets up, throws it down, walks off the field. No replay, and for the replay reviews, that ball never hit the ground. That was a touchdown, so it was the catch that was not ruled a catch. That was just amazing. Number 3, Jim Edmonds, California Angels, over-the-shoulder basket catch while diving. I mean, come on. That's all I got. That's it.
Fire.
Number 2, I'm going to go. You can't leave out Willie Mays. The over-the-shoulder, whip around, throw it back to the infield catch in the World Series Game 1. Come on. It's Willie Mays. And I know I bragged earlier that nobody would have my number 1 pick. Nobody. A young man with a pair of headphones on, sitting watching a baseball game by the name of Steve Bartman catches a foul ball and lives in folklore forever.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great catch, and mostly because the Chicago Cubs lost, and I hate the Cubs. So all the Cubs fans could just scream in pain. Steve Bartman made an amazing catch, and he doesn't get the credit for it he deserves. It's a foul ball catch heard around the world.
Now,
Lives in infamy.
Now, what's so funny about your top 5 list is actually I was going to actually do the Jim Edmonds one. Like I was that close. Yeah, I was actually going to put it in my top 5. And then the Bartman one actually being number 1 is actually kind of really funny because I never even would have thought. I was
going to put Bartman as 1 too.
It was going to be him or that kid in New York that caught the ball over Tony Tarasco's head. But I hate the Yankees, so I didn't pick them.
Now, when you're talking about catches that have actually made a difference too, you can, since we're all baseball fans here, we probably understand the one that I'm going to talk about, but it was actually the Dwayne Wise catch when he played on the White Sox because it meant a perfect game when he climbed the wall and caught it. Yeah, I'm like, that was a beautiful catch. It saved a perfect game. How could you not have that on your list too?
And he almost bobbled it. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Can I just hit off?
I gotta say,
go ahead.
First on my list was going to be the Josh Huff catch in the Civil War. Yeah, right.
Can I just hit up a couple?
You picked Green Bay Packers number 1. I picked the Ducks as 5.
So, Will, you go ahead and hit on a couple more if you want.
So I have a ton that weren't mentioned, but I'll just hit on a couple of them quick. Number 1, the Minnesota Miracle. Phenomenal catch, and it's more of a better catch because it was terrible coverage, but amazing catch. The Immaculate Reception, phenomenal. Philip Franco, was it a catch? Who knows? Griffey breaking his wrist into the wall, phenomenal catch. Mitchell going barehanded, robbing Ozzie Smith out in left field, scales all the way into foul territory, then all of a sudden throws up his bare hand instead of his glove hand and catches it. Hilarious. And then Mookie Betts jumping in and ending the game in the playoffs, and the security officer sitting there celebrating. That's just historic for me just because of that. And then the catch, Montana to Clark in the back of the end zone. It's literally called the catch in the NFL. And so those were the remaining ones on my list.
Now, what I thought was funny, though, too, is that – hold on here. We want to talk about a foul ball. There was a Mariners fan. Okay, so that's not – he caught
There's
a foul
one that caught one with the beard.
I mean, Ed Dixon once caught a ball with his bare hands.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Story. That brings up a funny story with Ace, and it was hilarious. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it was a very, very funny story, and it's one of those, sucks. It was a crappy story. Let's just say, because it happened to me. Not you, it happened to me. That's why it sucked. All right. Now I completely forgot what I was going to say about the catches that he was just talking about. So we'll just move on to the next topic, which our next topic of the night, we're going to actually jump into the MLB side of things. And the MLB side of things, we're going to actually talk about the AL East, and we're going to talk about our breakdown into predictions of the AL East. So with this one, since Will hasn't got to go first yet, Will, you go ahead and start out with what you believe your predictions are going to be in the AL East.
Oh, man. So it's weird when I'm looking at it because the teams that you would think would do great lost the most pieces, and it's just kind of awkward. But I'm going to stick a little bit with consistency. At the bottom of the division, I'm going to go the Baltimore Orioles. I can't give it to them yet. I love a lot of their team, but they did get rid of two of their best hitters last season, which obviously isn't going to help. You get Trey Mancini back, which is nice, but they're losing another couple key pieces. So I don't know if I'm sold in on Baltimore yet. Number 4 in fourth place in that division, I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. I don't believe in them yet. I just don't believe that they can do it. They got a couple of bad contracts off the books, which is nice. They brought in just recently, they brought in Hunter Renfroe, which will be a nice addition to the lineup. But this division's a powerhouse, and this is probably the most competitive division in the American League. So I can't go with them any higher than 4 right now. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm going to think Tampa Bay Rays, being I lived in Tampa for the last 12 years. I just recently moved, but I don't know if they're going to repeat. They lost Charlie Morton, which is going to be tough. That's a big piece of their staff. They don't have a number 3 back right now. They've the only key thing they've really done is bring back in Mike Zunino, and I mean, there's better catchers, there's worse catchers, so I guess it's all right. But nothing really kind of blows me away about this team yet, and so I'm going to go with Tampa Bay sliding in at number 3. I think they're going to have a little bit of a World Series hangover, which I didn't know was a thing for the runner-up, but we're going to say it is. Number 2, hot take, New York Yankees. This is my predictions, and so don't make fun of me too much. But the New York Yankees lost a lot of key pieces, and so far they haven't re-signed anybody. So right now I'm banking off what they have. They lost J-Happ. They lost Masahiro Tanaka. They lost James Paxton. That's 3 of their 5 starting pitchers right there in their rotation. They lost Jonathan Holder and Tommy Kahnle in their bullpen. So far they've lost DJ LeMahieu. I mean, the team is absolutely nuts. I mean, it's almost a skeleton crew. I mean, they still have some of the key pieces, Judge, Stanton, whatever. But a lot of the players are missing. I'm going to say the Toronto Blue Jays taking the division. I think they're going to make a big splash. I love their pieces. They've only gotten older. They've only gotten more consistent time in the MLB. Biggio, Bichette, Guerrero. I mean, Grichuk's been playing well. If they can get right now, they're missing Ken Giles, but they still have Hyun-Shin Ryu, who's up there in Cy Young talks every single year. There's been a lot of link of George Springer to Toronto. There's been a lot of link of Trevor Bauer to Toronto. I mean, there's names going everywhere for some reason for Toronto, and I think they can find a way to make something happen. So right now, if I had to just talk about what we have right now, I'm going Toronto as number 1. I don't know what it is, but I have a gut feeling that they're going to find a way to make it happen.
Now, I don't know if it was you, Will, or if it was somebody else, but we came on here several weeks ago, and we were talking about the Blue Jays. And a lot of us had the Blue Jays high on our list. And somebody left a comment that, and I don't remember if it was you, but it was somebody on the network that said, I don't understand. How are you so high on the Blue Jays? This
It
is what
probably was me, to be honest.
It
And that's
wa-
whenever I take a,
I believe it was you.
it probably was, and I took a little bit more of a look into it, and the Yankees are losing a lot of pieces, and right now the hardest part about it is that a lot of teams are cutting players and non-tendering, and letting people go because of COVID restrictions. Money brought down in a lot of situations. Toronto was a team that already had a lot of salary cap. I mean, yes, the Yankees are going to be right up there too, but it's just one of those to where if you look at the pieces that the Yankees lost, I mean, there's no way they're going to get them all back. There's absolutely no way. Some pieces are going to have to be cut. You're going to be relying on a lot more young guys whenever you're looking at this team because, I mean, people like Brett Gardner's gone, and then everybody else that I listed as well. The Yankees have lost a lot, and I just don't know if I trust the Rays right now until they can make some type of free agency splash. There's a guy out there I'd love to see on the Rays, and I think it would make them scoot right back up to number one. But as of right now, it hasn't happened. So right now, I'm kind of high on Toronto when I look into it.
All right, so before we jump into our next person for the AL East, we're going to go ahead and J-Mac, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Misty Meadows?
Yeah. So Misty Meadows is an Oregon-made store. Everything is made in-house. They have barbecue sauce, jelly, hot sauce. Oh, what else? I mean, they have almost anything you can imagine in that store. Anything that'll go with food or on food is in that store. They sell jerky right outside as well. That's all homemade. They are at 48053 Highway 101 South in Bandon, Oregon. Phone number 541-347-2575. They do have a website you can go to and order anytime. And I believe if you order by the 20th, you will get it by Christmas.
That sounds like a sweet deal. I'm telling you. That's awesome. All right. So, J-Mac, why don't you go ahead and give me your predictions of the AL East?
Sure.
Don't be too excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Baseball.
I'll say, baseball. Actually, I could talk about baseball all night. I'm just not ever excited about the AL East. I don't really care for Boston. I don't care for the Yankees, and the Orioles have never been a threat. So, but there you go. There's 5 through 3. So I think Boston's finishing last again. I don't think they're going to come up from last year. I got the Yankees finishing 4th just because they lost a lot of pieces. I think that they're not going to play as well as you think they are. They really have one pitcher, right now that's a solid in Garrett Cole, who, by the way, gave up, 12 home runs last year, 13? I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot of home runs he gave up, and a lot of them on first pitch. So I have the Orioles at 3. I have the Rays at 2 for all the reasons. I mean, you can't deny what they did last year, winning the division. They kept a lot of their guys, and they've always been a small market team. They do it right. They don't go out and make a big splash in free agency. They'll go out and they'll draft and develop and still have a good season. And for all the reasons that Will said and more, I have the Blue Jays at 1. I was high on the Blue Jays last year. I said that if they put it together, they could make a run. But yes, they got some of the best second generation players that you can name off. I mean, Bo Bichette, I hope he comes into something. I think he could be better than his dad, honestly, if he keeps it going. You can't always just settle kind of where you are, and I hope he doesn't do that, kind of settle into his career. Hope he just keeps going and trying to get better. Vlad Guerrero Jr., yeah, you're going to be good. You're a good player. You got a lot to live up to be like daddy. That's all I'm saying. Vlad Guerrero Sr. is one of the best players of all time in baseball. And he did it all and never, ever, ever was one time steroids ever mentioned in his career. Like, he is one of those pure players that just had the numbers, and he played forever. But yeah, Blue Jays are going to win that division, I believe.
All right, Vic.
Yeah, my list is about the same. I got the Orioles at number 5. They got Mancini coming back. There's talk about Adley Rutschman being promoted next year as well. Their first pick catcher. But they're still they're a long ways from contending currently. We've got the Red Sox at 4. They just got to get the right side of their infield set. I mean, the left side with Devers and Bogarts is good to go. Benintendi out in left field. Jackie Bradley Jr. They got the offense. Sales coming back sometime mid-season from surgery. So, but I still have them at 4. They got to take some time to get it all put together. I got the Yankees at 3. Like Will said, they're a skeleton crew until they get start signing some people to fill some of those spots. Losing 3/5 of your rotation. DJ LeMahieu really carried them most of the year last year, and if they don't re-sign him, I don't know what they're doing out there. I have Tampa at number 2. I see them. They still got Blake Snell. He's still up in there. I'd like to see them maybe contend for signing for Remilto out of Philadelphia. But they don't like to spend a lot of money, but he'd be a great fit there. He's a lot better than he's defense and offense, whereas Zunino is mostly just defense for him. So he'd help push them over the hump maybe a little bit. And at number 1, I got the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, they got the offense. They can put up the runs and numbers. And we learned from this last season, if you can put up enough runs, you can do so okay with your 5th starter in AA. Starting in the major leagues. So yeah, Toronto's, if they put it all together, I see them finishing out. They're gonna, like Vlad Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio is just crazy good. He's gonna put up better numbers than his dad, I believe. So yeah, I got Toronto taking the division pretty handily.
And of course, when you go last on your predictions and breakdown of the AL East, it's kind of crappy because basically everybody already touches on everything that there pretty much is to say. But my number 5, honestly, when I really thought about it, I don't think that the Red Sox. If we look at how the Red Sox were last year, they were horrible. I don't think anybody expected them to be that bad last year as they were. Now, the thing that shocked me is when they decided to trade Mookie Betts. That, to me, I'm like, I don't understand what the thinking in that was. I understand they probably didn't want to pay him all that money, but still, you go ahead and you trade your MVP. That made no sense to me whatsoever. But I actually have the Red Sox finishing last in the East. That might shock some of you, but I do. And that is really because I don't trust their pitching staff. I don't trust their pitching staff. I don't trust their bullpen. This team is a complete mess. They need to put a lot together. Now, my number 4 team, don't think that I'm saying that the Orioles are going to be good, because I'm not saying that at all. But I think they're just going to be a couple games better than the Red Sox. And this Orioles team is a complete mess too. Last year, everybody was talking about how they were maybe a little bit of a surprise halfway through, because it seemed like they were kind of halfway through. They were right there halfway through. So they were actually putting some together, and they were staying. But then at the end, they started fading. Because if you remember, at the deadline, they started trading all their pieces. And who they trade away in their pitching staff too? They also traded away a horrible Tommy Malone, which they traded him to Atlanta. We know that was a big joke. And now really the only guy that people really talk about in the starting rotation is actually Alex Cobb. Like, people are looking at Alex Cobb going, we want Alex Cobb, but why? I mean, why? It's the Orioles. It's the Orioles. They're not really good for pitching. So I don't know why you'd want anybody on this pitching staff. Their catcher and Severino, that's probably their most consistent player besides Mancini, but that's about it. Just Severino and Mancini. That's pretty much all they got. So that would be in my number 4. And then my number 3 is obviously the New York Yankees, because the New York Yankees, as everybody was saying, they lost a lot of pieces. However, the one thing that the Yankees said that they were trying to focus on was actually re-signing DJ LeMahieu, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I think you'll honestly see him go elsewhere. The Yankees do have the money. They have any amount of money that they want to spend, and they can go out and get anybody they want. This pitching staff is not going to be good. They do have a Garrett Cole. Last year, as J-Mac said, he struggled. He struggled with the home runs. But you also have a Giancarlo Stanton in their lineup that everybody talks about. But the thing is, he's never healthy. He cannot stay healthy. He might give you maybe 100 games a season to maybe 90 games a season. That's it. Over half the season, he's injured. Now, number 2, I actually flip-flopped on this one. This one was tough, and only because the Rays, you kind of have to give them respect because last year they were in the World Series, and I know how Will was talking about Morton being gone and that you really can't replace him. But the thing is that last year the Rays weren't really, when you looked at their starting rotation, it was not all about their starting rotation. Last year it was a lot about their bullpen. They have a lot returning in their bullpen, and they play a lot of small ball. So they're not one of those teams that are going to go out and sign a bunch of these home run hitters because that's not what they do. So I was really thinking about this. I'm like, do I want the Rays at 2? Do I want them at 1? But I went ahead and stuck them at 2. It was tough, but I put them at 2, and that was only because of the Toronto Blue Jays. We talked about it. Basically how young this Toronto Blue Jays team is. Last year they looked good, and they're going to only look better because these younger players are just going to get better every year. Their playing time together is going to get better. Once you play together, your camaraderie gets better and better. So this Blue Jays team is going to finish number 1, and they might even win playoff series this year. I'm going to say that they might make it to the second round. So that's my hot take. They're going to make it to the second round of the playoffs. All right. So that was our breakdown of the AL East. Our next topic of the night is actually JMac Spotlight Player.
All right.
I'll be back in 1 second, guys. I got to take care of something.
I'm gonna keep on the baseball topic. I picked some different players. I picked some big names, some smaller names. Last week we touched on some hockey, but we'll stay with baseball. And I compiled a list, and this is my personal list. We'll go over this another time, of the top 25 underrated baseball players of all time, guys that maybe are not in the Hall of Fame, but should be, just based on what they meant to their teams, whether or not they had the stats. Because if we think about it, like an Ozzie Smith is in the Hall of Fame for his defense, right? Obviously, it was never for his offense. If we look at that, so my pick this week for my spotlight player is Dave Concepcion. He played for the Cincinnati Reds. Now, he played for the Reds. His debut game was April 6th, 1970, and he played for the Reds all the way until September 5th, 1988. Never played for anyone else, played for the Reds. I mean, his career numbers are not great, but think about it. He was a shortstop in a time when shortstop was all about defense. So keep that in mind when we go through the career numbers. First off, he was a 9-time All-Star. He was a 5-time Gold Glove Award winner. His career batting average was .267. He had 2,326 hits with 101 home runs and 950 RBIs in a time in which shortstop was considered a defensive position. So he just drove in 950 runs in his career. And he played at the same time as Joe Morgan. So think of that middle of the lineup. Like you had Concepcion at shortstop and you had Joe Morgan at second base. That might be one of the best tandems ever there. And Joe Morgan's in the Hall of Fame. So
Elsa, are you there?
I think he froze up. And the interesting thing is, I don't know if you saw some of those topics that we had going on, but I do want to let this Polar Nights guy, or whoever this is, I do want to let you know that, yes, you did jump into a baseball conversation, because I noticed one of your topics was Epic is like the perfect evolution of beards. So I'm not
agree more.
So
I don't
I'm
know
not
what that means, but yes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to find, but yes, this is a sports show. So
You are not Kansas anymore.
yeah, so I figured I'd let you know that right now. All right. Oh, and actually,
Does J-Mac look like that guy from Ghostbusters that's in the painting?
Yeah, and Mess Around actually had a conversation to where he left a comment that said DJ LeMahieu's agent actually said he could not see him going anywhere but the Yankees, but could it be, like you said, to only drive up his asking price? Could it?
I think that's brilliant. I mean, I don't. It's weird. If he's going to go to the Yankees, I don't know why he wouldn't have re-signed already. I mean, it's the team he's already with. Like, why is he wasting so much time? He just sign the contract. And I mean, I don't care what anybody says, no matter Trevor Bauer or anything like that. DJ LeMahieu's the hottest free agent on the market. I mean, people act like he just started playing baseball whenever he got to New York. This guy's been the most consistent hitter since he joined the league. I mean, this is a guy who doesn't typically put power over average. This is a guy who's going to lead the MLB in batting every single year. I mean, he's typically a 310 to about a 340 hitter every single season. I mean, he's ridiculous. So, I mean, there's no reason not to go sign him if you're actually going to re-sign him. I don't know what's taking so long.
All right. So our next topic of the night is going to actually be.
Was J-Mac done?
Yeah, J-Mac, were you done or?
Yeah. I mean, it's just something that again, on another show, we're hoping we'll get a baseball show going. And when we do, I'll definitely give you that list of the top 25 underrated players of all time. And there's some guys on this list that you're like, man, he's not in the Hall of Fame, because he really should be. And to me, that number one player was Concepcion. Like I said, the guy was just unreal in the middle of that Reds defense. And he definitely deserved two World Series rings, and they won 5 pennants when he played, him and Joe Morgan together. Definitely. So,
All right. So now our next topic of the night is going to actually be who we believe is going to be our most surprise team in MLB this year. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the Vic on this one. So Vic, go ahead and tell me who's going to be your biggest surprise team.
It's the end of the third quarter. or my dryer's almost done, one or the other. My surprise team. Well, everybody knows I'm a diehard Braves fan. They're going to be good, so they're not to be a surprise. So, but they're going to win. They're not a surprise. I think everyone's picking Toronto to be good. I'm gonna kind of go a little bit out there, I'll say. And this is all depending on them re-signing Trevor Bauer. But I see Cincinnati being the shocker team if Bauer's re-signed. He'll a full year of them guys, Joey Votto. I mean, come on, Cincinnati is going to be my surprise team if Bauer signed. If not, I don't know. Detroit. I don't know. Minnesota. Pick one.
Detroit's not a bad pick. Detroit actually is not a bad pick because Detroit, as of late, has been slowly creeping back up to 500. So that's not a bad pick.
I'll go Oakland. Oakland will be a surprise. I think they're going to finally maybe put it together because they always seem to be right there on the cusp, and then they just can't get that oomph. I think they'll spend a little money this free agent season and maybe get themselves over that hump.
Good, because I was going to say elaborate on that one because I was going to say Oakland being good would not be a surprise because they've been good recently, but maybe winning a playoff series would be a big thing.
Winning a series will be a big step for them.
Yeah,
but they got to spend some money.
So we actually have a comment from somebody named Dark Sage, and Nate, can you go ahead and pull up that comment, please?
Woo!
I think all the small market teams in baseball should look to the St. Louis Cardinals' approach to building a team. Be smart and strategic in everything you do. Let's be honest here. Whatever you may think about the Cardinals, they've been the model franchise for the last 3 decades or so, and teams would be wise to study what they do. And you know what? I'm not disagreeing with that in any way because when it comes to the St. Louis Cardinals, and I've had multiple conversations with J-Mac about this in the past, the thing that shocks me the most about the St. Louis Cardinals is it like doesn't matter who they put out there. They manage to win games regardless of who the heck is out there. They can trade away all their best players and they still manage to win games. So yes, this is one of those model teams that you can look to a small market team who does not sign a lot of big players.
Oh my God.
Oh, and he busts out the St. Louis Cardinals. Are you kidding me? Here we go.
Ooh. I used to like the Cardinals. I did until last year, 2019. Game 5. They're up by what? They're up by what? 10, 12 runs?
Yeah,
In the
let's not,
first, before you get a chance to bat,
Flaherty,
yeah, let's not talk about
Flaherty plunks Acuna Jr. I mean, you're
All right.
up by 12. Come on. That's where St.
All right.
Louis lost me. They lost
So,
me.
J-Mac, go ahead and give me your most surprising team.
I'm going to go with what Vic was saying. I'm not going to pick the Blue Jays because we all are pretty high on them.
You agree?
I know. I agree with Vic. What?
We'll write that down.
What is going on? But I'll say, it's tough because baseball is one of those that you don't have teams consistently year after year. It seems to turn over a little bit at the bottom as far as wild cards go. So for me, I'm actually going to go with the Tigers. I think that they got some pieces people are forgetting about. I think that they're a young team, and I think that they can make a run, especially in their own division. They got some weak teams, and they can prey on those. So, I go with the Tigers. I think the Tigers can surprise some people this year. And I saw you throw your hands up, Ace, which means that was probably the team you were going to pick.
No, I was reading something on the side because somebody actually picked a team on the side that I was going to talk about. All right.
Oh.
So, Will?
I took this question different. I know you said which team is going to be surprising. I didn't take this as what team that's typically bad is going to be good. I took it as which good team's going to be bad. And
it doesn't matter.
Because of that, and don't look at this to determine my bias here,
Don't you
but
dare.
I'm going with Chicago Cubs.
Okay, I like that.
I think they're going to be bad. I really do think they're going to be bad, and here's why. They got rid of a lot of pieces this year. They lost Lester, they lost Schwarber. They've lost a lot of key pieces. Javier Baez is probably, if not definitely, the most overrated player in baseball. There's been rumors about moving Chris Bryant. There's so much going on with the Cubs organization that I just don't believe in them. Yes, I'm a Cardinal fan. Okay, whatever. But from a non-biased standpoint, whenever I'm looking at this team, it doesn't look like it's making the right steps. And I'm just bringing in David Ross as your coach threw me off. Sure, okay, whatever. You're going to throw him up there for Manager of the Year because you're an underwhelming team that got swept out by the Marlins in the first round. Congratulations. I don't get participation ribbons. I give out championships that mean something. Okay, there's no reason to bring in David Ross as your head coach. I don't understand that. I understand that. I mean, catchers make great coaches, but why David Ross? I mean, anyway. I don't understand that. Losing your bell cow pitcher in John Lester. I mean, he's a king of consistency. He's in there all the time. He doesn't typically get hurt much. He eats up a ton of innings. This team still has no bullpen. Like I said, the inconsistency in the outfield. I think they cut like 3 of their outfielders. It's just not looking good, and a lot of bad things are going towards the Chicago Cubs. Because of that, I think they're going to be towards the bottom of the division. I like what Vic said about the Reds. If the Reds can find a way to get back Bauer, I think they get skyrocketed right back up in there. And honestly, I would take the Reds to win that division if the Cubs are going to suck the way I think they are. But yeah, no, I don't see the Cubs doing as well as everybody may think, as well as they've been doing, especially after they just fired Theo Epstein. They just fired their GM. So everything that went up must come down. It's time for the downfall of the Chicago Cubs.
All right. And Dark Sage, you're saying that you hope that the Yankees ends the Dodgers runs and wins number 28. I cannot.
Ew.
That
is the most
disagree more. I cannot disagree more. I was like at a loss for words because I'm like, no more Yankees. All right. So I threw my hands up like J-Mac was saying because I was reading the comments on the side and somebody threw one of my teams out there. And J-Mac, you're going to probably give me flack on this because we've talked about this team multiple times in the past.
It better not be the one I'm reading right now. Better not be that one.
I'm sure it's the one we're both thinking.
Don't you do it.
One of my surprise teams that I'm actually talking about that it could be is actually the Angels.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Whew.
And so
I was thinking you were going Phillies. I was like, don't even go there.
no, I am
Okay,
not
we're good.
going to Phillies.
We're
I'm
good.
not
Okay.
going to Phillies. I'm actually going the Angels because when you look at this Angels staff and their lineup, now I know their pitching staff isn't great because let's be honest, last year they went out and got a Julio Teheran, who they got from Atlanta, which everybody knew Atlanta's like, let him go, he's junk. And then what does he do? He has 2 starts right off the bat in the season, and he's got an ERA in the 8. So then the Angels were like, oh, that's why Atlanta got rid of him. Yeah, that's why. But when you look at the lineup of the Angels with the Rendon and Andrelton Simmons and what they call Simba, and then Simba. And then
their offense should be just amazing.
They should. And Mike Trout. And Ohtani.
Too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Ohtani. Now, this team should be really good. They should be good.
They should
but
they're not.
Every year, no matter how many players they have, they tend to just collapse and falter every single year. And so we have
Disney movie jinxed them.
And so we have talked about it, how we've said, you know what, Angels, it's time to trade Mike Trout. But after thinking about it, and we've said it, Will, we've said it because we were getting sick and tired of the Angels disrespecting Mike Trout every year because of the whole of the trash that the Angels have been doing. You have a caliber player like Mike Trout, who's arguably one of the best center fielders to ever play the game, and you're completely wasting his talent with the Angels, who aren't doing crap. But this year, I'm like, maybe they're going to be that surprise team that's going to step in and actually be able to win. Thank you. Rant in progress. Yes, rant in progress. So here's my thing. I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to be the surprise team this year. They're going to come out and be good. And if I am wrong, Angels, listen to me right now. Get rid of Mike Trout. Get rid of Rendon. Start from scratch because you guys are terrible. If you cannot manage to win games with that lineup, man, you don't deserve Mike Trout. You don't deserve a Rendon. Figure it out. However, I will say I was actually happy in a way that we got rid of Simba because he was a great fielder. But his bat wasn't that great. That was the only knock on Andrelton Simmons, was his bat was not that great.
They got Justin Upton, too.
Yes, they have Justin Upton.
I mean, their lineup should be putting up numbers like crazy.
Yeah,
and if you can't get pitching to come there for some reason.
If you remember when Justin Upton was in Atlanta, and he went on that crazy tear to start the season, like he went on that incredible tear, like, and in the first half of the season, he had like 24 home runs, and then everybody's like, wow, he's going to win MVP. And then second half, he slowly started declining. But then at that point, Atlanta's like, you know what? We need to get rid of some of these guys. So then the Angels got him. And I'm like, man, they're going to be, he might do something. And now the Angels haven't done crap. So what they need is starting pitching, but they'll get there. So my surprise team is going to be the Angels.
They need 5 new starting pitchers.
Yes, but
at least 5 new bullpen arms.
but I truly believe with the lineup that they have, they should be able to score enough runs to keep you in games.
Should.
They should with that lineup. But I do agree that they need pitchers and they need their bullpen help. The only dual threat that they really have is Ohtani, but he's not even anything like super special, but he's your all-around guy. All right, so Nate's saying if the Angels don't do anything this year, then I would say trade their lineup with the Rangers. Of course you're going to say that because you're a Rangers fan.
Yeah, let's just trade everybody within the division. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, nailed it. Stamp approval on that one. Yeah, get out of here, Nate. I mean, it's just the Angels are a great team, but like half their team's fighting father time at this point. Like Pujols is almost on the wrong side of 40. Upton's on the wrong side of 30. It's just like it is what it is. They got a lot of money wrapped up in a lot of people who don't do nothing.
Yeah, Upton's contract is super high. Pujols' contract is super high. They just signed Rendon to a massive deal.
He's going to be a bust.
So can we Is it safe to say that we all four agree that the Angels are the Cowboys of the Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I think we can say that.
I'm in.
The fact that they're supposed to be good every single year, and then in the end they just
They aren't.
poop the bed.
Yeah. It's that
Yeah.
damn Disney movie. Angels
I
of the
will
Outfield
give-
jinxed them. It
I
ruined them.
will give them credit though for taking Tehran away from. Thank you.
He was
Thank
a free
you.
agent, so it didn't matter.
Yes, but I'm glad that the
Yeah.
Angels signed him and took him
Yeah.
over there. away from-
I hear they're in
Yeah.
contract talks with Mike Fultonavich too. Yeah, that'll go great.
Yeah,
Bolte, yeah.
I hope that they come back and take Cole Hamels too, because
Yeah,
that was a
phenomenal
great experiment in Atlanta.
That was
He
horrible.
pitched what? 1 inning?
One
No,
inning.
he,
One
Only
inning.
1 inning?
no, he pitched 3 innings, but it was 38
sorry.
pitches.
I broke it
38
down.
pitches.
I broke it down on live, and he got paid $342K a pitch last season.
Right.
That's
horrible.
Hey, Will, let me ask you, where do we sign up for that? Where do we
right
sign
here
up
at
for
the
that?
ASAP Network. Go ahead, message one of us, and we can get you right set up. No, I'm kidding. For legal reasons, I can't give you $342,000. But mainly, and legal reasons and financial reasons, I'm not there yet. But yeah, no, I don't know. I wish I could sign up for that. I'd throw 31 pitches for 18 mil and then tear my arm in half. Yeah, why not? I mean, I'd set myself for life. But we're good. We're chilling.
All right. So that was basically our last topic of the night that we had. But before we hop off for the night, we do have one more sponsor that we have to hit up on. And guess what? Our last sponsor of the night is actually Anchor. So Anchor, what exactly is Anchor? Well, let me say this. Since we were live tonight and you're like, man, I miss Sports Minute. I really, really want to watch it. Guess what? All you have to do is download the audio version on Anchor, and you can listen to it right there. That's all you have to do. Or even Anchor is a great way to where if you want to start your own podcast, Anchor is the way to go. It'll help you start your own podcast. All right. So now we're gonna touch on the shirts. So Will, go ahead and tell me, how can you win one of those shirts?
Man, we see everybody in the comment section today. You guys have been all over the place, whether you're talking about beards or actually talking about the stuff we're talking about. You guys have been phenomenal in the comment section. So keep that up. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like the page, follow the page, share the page, everything that you could do to help us grow and everything such as that. And the person who does that the most at the end of the month will count it all up. And the person who does it at the most at the end of this month will get their very own ASAP Network t-shirt.
Woo!
All right, now, Will, for those people who cannot comment because they might have been working or whatever, how can they get one of those awesome shirts that you're wearing?
Well, feel free to go ahead and message any one of us from the network. I mean, you got the four beautiful faces on this show, but I mean, we've got so many analysts. You can message any of us on any platform that we're on. Get a hold of us, and shirts are $14.99 plus shipping and handling. And we'll get you your very own ASAP t-shirt ASAP.
All right,
ASAP.
so I'm going to kind of throw a curveball out here really, really quick before we call it a night. It's going to be a curveball. I'm throwing a curveball. And that's right, I'm saying curveball because it deals with baseball. So my curveball is I want each of you to give me a hot take. A hot take. So Will, I'll start out with you. Give me a hot take for MLB.
Hot take. Oh, no.
Yes, Will, give us a hot take.
Hot take. Tony La Russa will win Manager of the Year next season. I am sick and tired of hearing everybody talk about how he's not going to be a good manager. Are you kidding me? Everybody talks about, oh man, he's an old school guy. He's going to want to play small ball. He's going to want to do this. This man coached the likes of Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, Lance Berkman, Carlos Beltran. This man doesn't know small ball. Those Cardinal teams that won the World Series, we didn't bank it off small ball. Okay, we were hitting balls out of the park just like everybody else who wins the World Series. Okay, quit giving problems to Tony La Russa. The White Sox are a team that's going to do well this year. The additional Lance Lynn's going to help them out a ton. Their young guys got even older, more experience. It's going to go great. I don't know why everybody keeps saying it's not going to work out. Tony La Russa, Manager of the Year. Book it.
All right,
Book
J-Mac, go ahead and give me a hot take.
Write it down.
Hot take in the MLB this year. Let's go with the Angels still suck. They are not going to be the comeback team of the year. We all know they're not going to be, but I'll give you another hot take, and I'll tell you that your Cy Young a winner for the National League this year is going to be Trevor Bauer because he's going to stay in Cincinnati.
Oh,
Oh, dang. I thought you were going to go something else there.
I thought you were
got
going to
me.
throw a crazy name out there.
All right, the Vic.
All right. Atlanta Braves finally spend some hard cash and sign JT Realmuto as their catcher, and it takes them to the top. World Series against, we're going to go Houston because I hate Houston. I want them to beat them.
But we have Travis, though.
Would you rather have JT or Travis?
Right.
But everybody was so.
They got the money. They got the money.
I know they do.
Spend the money.
Trust me,
You're going to spend the money.
Spend it. I get it. I
Spend the
get
money.
spend it. But everybody last year was so high on Travis. So
Have Travis play DH.
I mean, you could because if
not
they're going to
signing
have
him,
if they're going to have DH,
They're not.
Okay.
There's rumored that they're not.
All right. So
And Seattle Mariners still suck.
So my hot take for MLB this year is that the Dodgers
Ugh.
will not win their division. It will
They will
actually be
implode.
the San Diego Padres that are actually going to win it.
Fire.
Because last year they made a ton of good moves.
Yep.
This lineup is going to only get better, especially with Hosmer and Tatis Jr. Tatis Jr. is going to be really, really good. I'm telling you that now. You give him a full season, and that dude is going to kill it. So the Padres are going to overtake the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. That is my hot take. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
Justin
Once
Turner.
San Diego gets Clevenger healthy, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Justin Turner is not going to be back with the Dodgers. He's a free agent at the moment.
Barf.
So the
Blech.
Dodgers have to re-sign him, and I don't know if they're going to. So that is my hot take. The Padres are going to overtake the Dodgers.
Can I follow up one thing that Vic said real quick?
Yes.
An additional hot take? All right. So Vic had mentioned a signing about JT going to Atlanta. I said that the Rays will win this division on one condition, and it's if they make a splash. And my hot take for that would be Nelson Cruz takes a pay cut and joins the Tampa Bay Rays to ring change.
Ooh, I like it.
Nelson
like it.
Cruz, I like it. That's kind of one guy that they do need. They do need a power guy. They do need it. They don't have it, and Nelson Cruz would be that guy because Nelson Cruz is that typical guy who goes from team to team to team.
Mhm.
Basically, wherever he wants to go is where he goes because almost any team will sign the guy. So
He doesn't want to be a Twin. The Twins get eliminated first round every year.
all right. Oh, J-Mac, it looked like you had something to say. Nope. All right.
Nope.
So since that's the end of the show, I'll give you guys 30 seconds to basically wrap it up and say whatever it is you want to say. So J-Mac, you go ahead and take it away. You got 30 seconds.
All right. Again, ASAP Network. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch. Check us out. Help us out. Comment, share, like. Get our name out there. Please help us. We appreciate every single one of you. We could not do this without you. Lifelong dreams going on here, and we love doing this. We love getting it done. We love having some fun.
All right, Mr. Will Polston.
All right, 30 seconds. First off, I want to say pleasure. First time actually joining Sports Minute, my first official episode with the new crew. So thank you all for letting me be a part of it. Glad to see everybody in the comment section and everything like that. And speaking of the comment section, to the guy that said the Cardinals were the face of the MLB, that's real nice of you, but don't give our general manager too much credit. He still hasn't signed Yachty and Adam Wainwright. He needs to go if he doesn't do it. Just saying.
All right, the Vic, you got 30 seconds.
What J-Mac said and what Will said. Ditto.
I couldn't agree more.
And J-Mac, you know it's coming. So prepare yourself. Friday, although we didn't really earn it, we earned it. And we're playing Oregon versus USC, Pac-12 championship. Go Ducks. I mean, we signed 21 of our 22 people today. We signed Justin Flo's brother. He's signing in February. Next year, we're going to rock it, but ride or die. Go Ducks.
All right.
I say the only thing I can respect about that is the fact that you are ride or die. You will like them if they're 1-11 in a season, and I respect you for that. But yeah, that's all I'll say. And then you can.
Hey, if you guys sucked, you'd still be a fan. So congrats.
We're the
All
same
right.
colors as Green Bay, so you got to give us a little bit of credit.
I can't. Okay. All right. I
Same
can't.
color.
All right, so now going away from that, I do want to thank everybody for watching tonight, leaving comments. We love the comments on the side because we love to answer your comments. It's always fun when with the fan interaction. That's like the best thing of the show. And obviously, I want to thank J-Mac again tonight. It was a great show. And the Vic, it was a great show. And Will, it was a great first show to have you on. And it's going to be a pleasure for many, many more to come. And so everybody, tomorrow night is Real Talk. And then you'll actually see our debut of a basketball show called The Tip on Friday night. And then Saturday, you will actually see us again for Sports Minute. And keep in mind on Saturday, it is all NFL on Saturday. All right.
NFL.
All NFL. So I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and we will see you again.
Ooh, you almost did it, Adam. You almost did it. You almost do it. Do it. Do it.
Good night.
Nate gonna bring us up.
Bye-bye.
Nate, take us away.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.